Good afternoon, Gibson City United Methodist Church. I'm Susan Schultz, your Facebook page administrator, here with our Advent Chrismons Day 21. Let me X out of the pop-ups, move my chat. Okay. So today we have a very recognizable symbol. This star is called the Creator's Star and represents the 6 days of creation. It is also called the Star of David and is a symbol of Zionism. And I learned that in my research today that, of course, it popularly communicates Jewishness, and it's a relatively newer symbol. And some scholars don't quite agree when it became to be used. Some thought in the Middle Ages, but most generally it's accepted that it was a little later in the 17th century. It was used in the Jewish quarter of Vienna. That area was marked with a hexagon to distinguish it from the rest of the city. And then around that time, the star started to become part of synagogue architecture, both in Europe, the Middle East, and in North Africa. So that's what that is about. Also, I learned that it's really what it is it's two triangles. Okay, can I do this backwards? Okay, I gotta look at it. It's really just two triangles that are superimposed, and then it happens to it makes the 6 points. And there's just different theories about maybe what the points mean and things, but that's what that is. And of course, we recognize it also then from a lot of people became familiar with it during the Holocaust. But so that part about is a symbol of Zionism. I wanted to look that up a little more, and I found out that it's an ideology and it's a nationalist movement. That now we think of Zionism, it's because it's the support of Jewish national state. They want the ancient homeland. It's a continuation of the ancient attachment of the Jews and the Jewish religion to the historical region of Palestine, where one of the hills of ancient Jerusalem was called Zion. And I will say that I am not studied up on the current state of affairs in Palestine. I know that there's conflict there and wanting the state of Israel to have place in the land. I don't know much about that, but when it said that in Jerusalem there is a place called Zion, it reminded me of learning about Mount Zion back in April of 2016, and that was the time where I first learned what Mount Zion was. So I'm not going to talk about the actual Star of David anymore. So if you're just here to find out the basics of what the ornament is, I'm going to go ahead and put that on the tree. But I was very familiar with the song, we're marching to Zion, the beautiful. Okay, I didn't know anything else other than that was the lyrics in a song until I was in school, in seminary. And in Old Testament, there was an introduction to Old Testament where the professor had us write 4 or 5 one-page reports on particular readings. And let me just say, which you probably have noticed, either if you've known me a long time, or if you've just started getting to know me through these videos, one page being that concise is not a natural gift for me. So I ended up coming to really appreciate. I knew what he was doing. He was forcing us to take items and then, or things to learn about, and make them so concise so that we could share that information with others. So I'm done with the Star of David, or the Creator Star, for today. But if you would like to learn a little bit more of what Mount Zion is and what that means, and then, of course, because that's where the Zionism comes from, if you want to hang with me just a couple more minutes, I'm going to share with you what I learned and wrote about what is Mount Zion. So we read a piece by John D. Levinson, and it was called Zion, the Mountain of the Temple. And it was a significant symbol of ancient Israel, and it evolved, and an evolved Judaism of attaining closeness with God. And drawing from the Hebrew Bible and rabbinic literature, this author showed how the cosmic mountain parallels and transcends this understanding of the temple's purpose in Jewish experience. And while physically present in ancient Israel, the mythically observed, this Mount Temple is eternal and omnipresent. And there are several correlations attached to the cosmic Mount Zion and the temple. For instance, they both serve as a place where God is seen, heaven and earth connect, people receive instruction for living, is centrally located, is approached by going up or in. It provides a transforming experience. The higher one gets, the closer one is to God, as represented in the temple-based journey to the inner sanctuary containing the Ark of the Covenant, which represented God's presence. The physical temple of Jerusalem points to the real temple, Zion, which can be ascended spiritually from anywhere. The mythical existence of Zion as the Temple Mount is not confined to time constraints. According to rabbinic literature, Zion predates the physical world and holds eschatological promise. That's like end times and beyond. In the earthly temple, only the perfectly clean may enter the inner sanctuary to stand before God. An ideology on earth for humans, purity in the mythical temple, which would be the peak of the mountain, is a reality, paradise, like the Garden of Eden. The Jerusalem temple was destroyed. God's temple continues. Each Davidic king ruled Jerusalem temporarily. God reigns eternally from Zion. The Jews' yearning for a temple to be rebuilt is symbolic of the hope of being in God's presence. Those who live lives in purity of heart, as preparing to enter the inner sanctuary of the Jerusalem temple, are climbing the spiritual mountain of Mount Zion. The top of Mount Zion, which is the real temple, capital R, is attainable now and in the world to come. So I couldn't have told you exactly everything that without looking it back up, but I did remember that that was the first time I had learned or anything about that. And maybe you already knew that. And if you did, I'm sure you're not here anymore with me, but I wanted to share that and for the people, if there are any, who, like me, when I was singing about Mount Zion, had no idea what I was singing about. So that is our lesson for today. So again, today was the Creator Star, the Star of David, and it's associated with Jewishness, Zionism, the ideology of Zionism. And I expect to be here sometime tomorrow again. I don't know when. Tomorrow's symbol is really important for tomorrow's date. And I'm just not sure what time I'll be able to do that, but I will for sure share it with you. So thanks for joining me and have a great rest of your evening.